Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Max here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Sia, and he's selling his affiliate business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Sia. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me on this interview and hopefully answer any questions about this particular business. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, good. Looking forward to hearing more about it. So before we start, I'll give a brief summary of the business. It is an affiliate business in the technology niche, created in July 2018. The average monthly revenue for the business is $26,533 and makes an average of $25,572 per month in net profit. For everyone listening, you can visit theempireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 48289 to learn more about the business. Included in the sale is a primary domain and the site contents and files. Additional domain uses a 301 redirect, trademark, social media accounts including Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn, the SOPs, and that's the assets. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, Sia, would you mind telling us a bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure, no problem. So I started in 2014 and I built a small niche marketing agency targeting Canadian and US businesses. Did that for a couple of years and then slowly, moved into affiliate SEO, built a portfolio in the affiliate SEO space. And this was one of our earlier sites that we built. So yeah, I guess that's about it in a nutshell. We also have a digital PR agency. We work with enterprise SaaS. And this has been one of our better performing sites. Like you said, we started in 2018, 2017, roughly around then. I think in January. And yeah, I've just been sort of growing it ever since. So mostly we do affiliate and digital PR. And now a lot of like angel investing and other sort of real estate investing.
And you mentioned it briefly there, but how did you come up with the idea to start this particular business?
That's a great question. So I had another site in the hosting space, an affiliate site, but it was another country, targeting a specific country. It performed really well. And I sort of, I got the process down for building these sites, what they require, what they need. And we just saw like a pretty big opportunity in this particular geo. So, we just basically took all the same SOPs, processes, affiliate relationships, and started this one.
And was this niche something that you were interested in, or was it more just that you saw a gap in the market?
No, I mean, it's a little bit of both. I'm definitely decently knowledgeable about this particular niche just because, being an SEO, you sort of need to be. So I've known about it, and I've also known, that it's one of the more competitive verticals, but it also pays out very, very well. And affiliates generally have a lot of leverage over some of the programs that they work with.
And getting into more specifics about this business, how does it primarily make money?
So it primarily makes money as an affiliate for various technology products. So that's sort of how we started it. We sort of covered the specific technology vertical / keyword. We dominated that area. And then we started testing other keywords probably about like 4 or 5 months ago. And some of the keywords performed extremely well. So I don't want to say the specific keywords, but this site is able to rank for basically any financial, technology, security, small business product for that specific country. And some of our test pages right now are generating like a third of our income, and we really haven't done anything to them. So yeah, essentially at this point, the income is pretty split between a whole bunch of different programs.
And why should someone choose this business model? What's so sort of appealing about the business model itself?
So a couple of things. First is I mentioned the ability of this particular business to basically generate income, not from its primary set of keywords, but basically for anything with that geo modifier in it. So, it's not USA, but let's say it was USA. It basically could rank for most keywords that have best keyword plus USA in it. would perform really well for that. So that's the first one. The second one is the way we built the site is it naturally attracts a lot of links. So we have a lot of link bait articles. A large percentage of our mentions are natural. So we've really spent a lot of time building those link bait pieces in order to capitalize on some of those natural links. Third one is at this point, we spend a ton of time on this business and it's extremely passive. So there's really not much to do. All the pages are optimized, they're tested. We've done multiple iterations with professional developers to get our response time down to, I think it's like less than a second or like a 1.5 seconds. So response time is really good. It's been audited multiple times for on-site structure. So there's really not a ton to do. And yeah, I'm sort of harping on here, but I want to definitely emphasize the fact that the site is, with a little bit of work, could be much bigger revenue-wise than it currently is.
And where does the majority of your traffic come from?
Majority of our earning traffic comes specifically from the geo that it's targeting. And we also have tools on the site that we've acquired, and those also generate a lot of traffic. Those are very technical tools that one of our developers built. So, yeah.
And is the majority of that like Google search?
Yeah, it would all be organic. We get some referral, but mostly organic, and social isn't really a channel for this kind of business.
And you kind of talked about it briefly, but what do you do currently in terms of marketing?
I'm the owner of the portfolio company. So me personally, I don't really do much. However, our staff that work on the site, they do some on-site tweaks every now and then. I'll go and say, these pages, let's add this element to them, or they're maybe missing this set of keywords. We do a lot of response testing and performance testing, which I think is really important, often neglected by a lot of other people. So the site performs extremely well on mobile and extremely well on desktop, which is about 80% of our traffic. So, on a day-to-day basis, I don't do anything. I just, I check the profit and loss statement. I look at the affiliate dashboard. That's about it.
And are there any employees associated with this business? And if so, what are their roles?
So I mentioned that we have a guy that does on-site. Yeah, he does on-site fixes on some of the pages. Although for the last, I'd say about 5 or 6 months, he really hasn't been active doing anything because, most of the pages are optimized and we're not really expanding to any new sets of keywords right now just because, we've just been rid of some of our other businesses. 3 to 4 hours a week by a good on-site SEO could definitely manage the whole site.
And in terms of content creation, how have you gone about creating content currently and in the past?
So I mentioned earlier that we have a digital agency that does PR for enterprise SaaS. So we have a team of writers that have been working with us for a while. US-based writers, all native speakers, very, very good copywriters. And they built all the content for this particular business. They went pretty hard on it when we first launched it in 2018. And since that point, it's basically been in maintenance mode. So I think we publish 2 articles a month right now. All the work was done up front right now, last trailing like 6 to 7 months. We really haven't done much.
And while you've been sort of creating this business, is there anything that you've learned during the process that you might apply to future businesses?
That's a great question. So, I haven't given this that much thought, but I'll give you a couple ideas off the top of my mind. So, when it comes to SEO based assets, I would say the number one is link quality. So, a lot of SEOs cheap out on this and they buy liabilities instead of assets. So they're buying cheap, like $150 links. That's not going to get them very far. And eventually those links turn into liabilities and your site crashes or nobody would want to buy it. So one thing with this business, any savvy SEO who looks at our link profile is going to be blown away because, you're not going to see many sites with a link profile like this, all natural too. So I'd say focusing on link quality, above all else. Second thing would be links again. Links make or break the business. You need high quality links. And then the third one that a lot of people miss out on is site performance. Site performance is really big for us. So, having a fast loading site on all devices is very important.
And something you just reminded me of while you were talking there, included in this is a 301 redirect. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about how that works?
Sure. So we have a specific team that we built over the years. They've gotten really good at it to find domains that have specific requirements. So this particular domain, we acquired it in 2019. It was a monster domain, all natural. Basically what the domain is, a guide to a very technical walkthrough for this database. And so the database management. And with this database management site, there was also 4 or 5 custom built tools So we rebuilt the tools. The initial tools that were on the first site were a little bit slow and they put a lot of strain on the server. So we rebuilt the tools from scratch, put them on the site. And yeah, that was part of the strategy. We got a lot of links. We basically doubled our referring domains. And then the tools have been just amazing, amazing link bait. I mean, there's sites that link to us that we basically we didn't even answer emails that just naturally link to us due to the tool. I think there's only one or two tools that do this particular function. So yeah.
Yeah, sounds great. Why are you deciding to sell the business then instead of keeping it or growing it?
That's the $1 million question. So, I have a portfolio company with this one included in there. I also do a lot of other investing and a digital PR agency, plus a couple other ventures. And so, I really just don't have the time to grow this. And I'd rather see somebody else take it and grow it, make it into an even bigger site. And then I'd like the cash.
But if you were to keep the business, what are some ways that you might try and grow it? What are the opportunities there?
So a couple of things, number one would be, I mentioned the test pages. So some of the test pages, I don't want to mention them here, but they're huge keywords, like monster keywords. And each one of them has the potential to literally double the revenue. So I'd focus on those pages. I mean, they're already built, they're optimized, we're ready to go. They just need links. We really haven't built any links to them. So when I mention this, I mean, they're top like 5 to 7 position for the keywords. So they're definitely relevant. So that'd be the first one. The second one would be maybe acquiring another domain to redirect to it. At this point, we're at like 4,000 referring domains. It's like 3 or 4 times stronger than all the other sites. So that'd be the second one. The third one is that we've been really, really lax on this is negotiating a very aggressive deal with some of the affiliates. So recently we were approached by one of the larger brands in the space. They actually wanted to buy the site, but we weren't comfortable selling it to them. But then they also offered us basically what we were a leading program. They offered us basically 25 to 30% above that, but we really didn't want to change out all the content just to promote that other brand. So, I mean, somebody who buys this particular business could come in, negotiate much better deals with the affiliates, and they'd instantly add, a couple $100K to the value of the business.
What do you think some of the biggest risks associated with a site like this that a buyer should be aware of?
Generally with SEO assets, I'd say that there's always like this perennial risk of an algo shift, something changing the rankings. But thus far, with this particular business, we've been through like 3 or 4 algo updates. There's been no major change in the rankings. So I don't want to say that there's no risk, but in terms of links, I would say there's barely any. Content, none. Site performance, none. This is an extremely, extremely low risk business. It's probably the lowest risk business of any of them in our portfolio.
And if a buyer was to come in for this, would you be willing to commit to a non-compete?
Yeah, for sure. We have no interest in this particular geo. And also we're moving, our affiliate portfolio is moving mostly towards fintech, financial products, and also, MarTech solutions as well, like marketing automation stuff. So yeah, no particular interest in this geo. Happy to sign a non-compete. Yeah.
And how much support are you offering buyers? Is that Skype calls or email support?
I'm pretty flexible on this. I'm assuming that whoever would buy this particular business would have a decent knowledge of SEO. Again, there's not really much to do with this particular business. I could just give him the SOPs, our content calendar. And yeah, I'm willing to do Skype calls, email support, and I'm also willing to liaison our team with their team so they can, do a little bit of hand holding and show a potential buyer how to operate the business.
And are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
Depends on the terms. For this particular business, because I feel like it has so much upside, I would be open to an earnout, but I would not be open to a very aggressive earnout that has me making money for like a few years. So I would prefer, for this kind of business, a larger lump sum up front and then maybe some sort of earnout. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I'll keep saying this. It's anyone who knows what they're doing with SEO will look at this and immediately recognize it's a really high quality asset, good business to buy. And so, an aggressive earnout anywhere above like 40% or something like that, I just wouldn't be interested in, because I'd rather just hold the business because it makes such passive income. So, you mentioned it's at like 25K a month, but we're making more like 37,000 or so a month right now. And it's trending up. So, the longer I hold on to it, the multiple is going to go up, and also the value of the site's going to go up. So yeah, not super keen on an aggressive earnout.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And something we like to do towards the end of this is maybe give some advice to people that are just sort of starting creating online businesses. So was there any software or tools that really helped you at the start of running this business?
SEOs always look for shortcuts. Generally speaking, SEOs are really lazy people. Everybody's looking for the hack. What's the tool hack? What's the keyword optimizing hack? What's the link hack? But, I've been victim to this many, many times. And there's a lot of people peddling garbage SEO courses and tools. Nothing at the end of the day beats very, very good content, very, very good links, and a high functioning, high performance website. And you're only going to get those with hard work. You're not going to get those with any sort of hacks.
And what advice would you give to our listeners you wish you knew when you first started?
That's a good question. Buying a business is probably better than starting an affiliate site. So at this point, I don't know how many sites I've built a lot of sites, and I'd say 80% of them failed. There's sites that I spent an entire year on building and they never broke. Even now we have some, even with the experience that we have now, there's a couple sites where a couple $100K in on building a custom theme, content, theme, and it's not even profitable. It's just really hard to optimize for success in the affiliate game. It's more and more difficult. And so buying a site with earnings essentially allows you to leapfrog the 80% of affiliate sites that are going to fail. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point there. And last two questions from me. Putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think that this is a business worth buying?
Again, high potential for growth in the future. It just has a massive moat in terms of link equity and authority. So there's essentially, once you look at the SERPs for the main keywords, you'll quickly realize that there's essentially little to no risk of another affiliate overtaking you, because the site is just 3 or 4 times stronger than anything else out there. So, high growth potential, moat from an SEO perspective. Yeah, those are the two big things. And then third one, we put in a lot of work in the first year. So everything has been checked and double checked and optimized. So, yeah.
And is there anything else you'd like to share that I might have missed?
No, I just hope somebody buys it.
Well, we hope so too. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Max. Appreciate it.
Okay, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 48289. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business, and I'll see you in the next episode.